everything's fine on 93.9 Dublin South FM.
This is Dublin South FM.
You're listening to Dublin South Radio on 93.9 FM.
I love Dublin South FM. Listen to Dublin South FM every day from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Culture, music, magazine, news, documentary, story. Everything is here on Dublin South FM. Dublin South FM. Your radio, our radio.
You're listening to Dublin South Radio on 93.9 FM.
Oh, 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 clap along if you feel like listening to Dublin South Radio on 93.9. No, it's alright, everything gon' feel alright, yeah.
You're listening to the Afrobeat Session with Maxwell on Dublin South Radio 93.9 FM.
Yo, what's up? It's Neo from Saturday Night Session, and you're listening to Afro Beats with Maxwell. So, stick around.
Taking over Dublin.
Taking over Dublin.
Taking over Dublin.
This is Dublin South FM, broadcasting to South Dublin on 93.9.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the time you've been waiting for. We actually have someone very, very interesting in the studio with us. We have, I want to try with the surname. We have ENOCH Ojotisa.
I thought it was Ojotisa.
Ojotisa or Ojotisa?
It's Ojotisa.
Ojotisa.
Yeah.
I said Ojo or Ojo?
Ojo.
I said Ojo.
Ojotisa.
So I was right. You see, Igbo boy, you messed it up.
I'm not Igbo, I'm Yoruba.
No, I mean, he messed it up. Oh, that's the Igbo boy there.
I tried, but at least I got the Tisa correctly. And Toby, don't forget we actually have another Igbo person in the studio today. Like, you need to respect yourself, innit?
I will.
Are you not going to back me up, madam? Me? Yeah, you're not going to back me up. Because Toby's always, he has this thing he does every week. He just likes Igbo people for no reason. Really? Yeah. That's bad.
All, like, what she said was like, she was like, really, in her mind, she's like who cares, Max?
She's like, really? Yeah, if I catch
just in case anything goes down between Nigeria and Biafra, this is the sister who's going to leave you on the road. She's not going to give you a lift, by the way. So now you know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, we have ENOCH Ojotisa in the studio with us. Mm-hmm. He's a songwriter. I think I'm going to mess up this word. Publicist, is it?
No.
What's it?
I'm a publisher. I'm a writer.
Publisher, okay.
I'm a poet. And,
okay.
Most importantly, I'm an African revolutionary.
Yeah, I saw that coming. I was actually going to say something about that.
Yeah. You saw that coming?
I saw that coming because I did my research. Like I do. I like to roast people. I did my research.
Okay.
So when you say you're an African...
revolutionary.
Yeah, that's a strong word, Yeah,
I'm an African cultural revolutionary. Because I believe that at this moment, the African cultural system, the African cultural ideas are actually dying off amidst the current contemporary African generation.
Okay.
And so I think it is important for some of us who are bold enough to start to ask the people to think in the cultural ways, to accept some cultural ideas. I'm not being religious here. I'm not saying everybody should go back to different traditional religious beliefs, but I think the cultural ideas, the traditional values should be respected and should be brought back to life. And that is why my poetry, my writings are culturally based, and that's why I said I'm an African revolutionary.
Yeah, like our show director was asking me, who's the guy coming? I just said to him, he's a young fella, Kuti. That's what I said.
Young fella, Kuti.
Yeah, because that was what I got.
Because he does,
research.
You do a bit of...
You play an instrument that he played.
Yeah. But as a matter of fact, the person of Fela Anikulapo Kuti, Abamieda, is a very big figure. Is
his name Abamieda?
Abamieda is one of his accolades, so I can also call him Abamieda.
Okay.
Now, it's so big that someone like me cannot say I want to be like Fela Anikulapo Kuti. And as a matter of fact, I think there's a bit of difference between myself and Fela.
Yeah.
Fela happens to be a role model for my musical and my writing pursuits.
Okay.
But the difference is just that I'm more of a writer and a poet.
Yeah, and he's a singer.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that Fela doesn't write.
Yeah.
Did he even go to school? I'm just asking.
No, come on.
Is
I
that-
studied music.
He studied music.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wait, hold on. Can I just say something? I'm sorry.
Wait,
Well, I'm
we
glad
learn every day.
That's one of the Igbo
Hold on,
things. That's,
hold on.
That's an Igbo boy auntie.
Listen.
right there.
No.
No,
listen,
that's what I
listen.
always say to him.
You shouldn't say that.
No.
We learn every day.
Yeah.
We know. What's she saying?
She said it's a Maxwell thing. She's trying to say all Igbo guys are not the same.
No.
You're just the worst.
We learn every day. Yeah, I know Fela is the greatest musician Africa has ever had. You get me?
Not
But
just
I-
from Africa.
That's a lie.
well-
Can I tell you what Maxwell thinks of Fela?
Yeah.
What you mean that's a lie?
Hold on, Maxwell. Let me say this. Nah, that's that guy who be singing Afrobeat and smoking marijuana, just doing one thing, and he never wears trousers, always
Right.
carrying the pant up and down. That's
Right.
what That's what's in his head. But he's not gonna say that.
Is that true?
No,
He
obviously.
already started off by saying,
Hardly.
did he go to school?
Hardly.
It's just always sitting around, just drinking beer and then play music.
You see, when I said that, when I said Africans should, the present generation of Africans should see the reason why we should respect our cultural values.
Yeah.
It's not about just going to the village to ask our elders what and how they operate, but
Yeah.
it's about actually respecting some African persons who have contributed to the growth of Africa that we
Yeah.
have today. And I think it would be an aberration, permit me to say,
Okay.
if we will not know people like Fela Anikulapo Kuti, people like Wole Soyinka, people like Chinua Achebe, people who have contributed not just to the musical or to the writing world, but to the political system in the country.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So if I say Fela Anikulapo Kuti is a mentor, if I say Fela Anikulapo Kuti is a role model, I'm not saying I want to go after his way,
Yeah.
totally, but his message, his view.
You get
about
inspired
life,
from
yeah.
certain things he
Yes.
says.
That's all right.
and he
That's
does.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk more about that because there's a lot I have to
Yeah,
ask you
but-
when it comes to.
I want us to talk about your books.
Okay.
You are a writer and a publisher.
Yes.
So how do you tell your story through your books?
I published Commoner Speech first in 2011.
Yeah.
I was a 400 level student at the Obafemi Law prestigious university.
Yeah, you
Okay.
have a degree in law, is it?
Yeah, I'm a lawyer.
I was about to say that before you started the book,
So you do everything basically.
No. See,
Because you mix law and music and writing as well.
yeah.
But anyways,
Fela's mom was a lawyer, or was his dad? One of them was a lawyer, actually. Am I
don't
wrong?
think so.
She was an activist, actually. His mom, sorry.
His father was a reverend.
Oh
a
yeah,
reverend father.
and his mom was an activist.
Yeah.
I mixed that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that next time.
Most activists are always from the law background. That's why I said that. My bad.
I published Commoner Speech first in 2011.
Yeah.
And I republished it in 2014.
Okay.
All right. And the drive that came to me when I was in Obafemi Law University
Yeah.
was as a result of my participation at the student union.
Okay.
I was a student union activist when I was in school.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of injustice. I saw a lot of arrests. I saw a lot of, persecution from the school management and even from the state parastatals.
When you say arrest,
Yeah.
can you go into detail?
I mean, physical arrest of student union activists.
On campus?
Yeah, on campus, outside campus. So
Yeah.
it was more or less like the days of the Black Panthers in America.
Oh, so you were you were part of the Black Panthers of Obafemi Awolowo University.
No, I was part of the student union of Obafemi Law University.
he's a lawyer for sure. You see the way he just told you.
Toby knows how to put words into people's mouths, so just be careful of that.
He's a
He's
smart
very
lawyer,
good.
trust me.
He's
I
very
think
good
he
at
knows-
that.
He's gonna be able to maneuver his way around me. So, speaking about your book,
Yeah.
like you said, you were inspired by what you saw around you and all
Yes.
of that. And is it like, are they like poems in it or
Yeah, poetry,
okay.
poems.
Yeah.
Poems.
Tell us a bit about that.
I write basically protest poems.
Oh.
Poems that talk about politics, that talk about culture, that even talk about social issues. For instance, I was at a program in 2014, I think last year, November,
Yeah.
at Creative Writers Niche program. I was a speaker, and I wasn't shocked when a lady came up and said, Enoch, can you explain the reason why you wrote a poem titled LCD in Commoner Speech about ladies? I do not just write about culture and politics. I write about social issues. And the poem is a 5-line poem that said,
Can we hear it?
it says, lackadaisical crazy display, inferno of fashion, display of insanity, Nudeness, the order of the day. Women are the architects of social disorder. And
Why is that?
She took me up by saying, why would I say women are the architect of social disorder? And basically, if you look at the present issue in Nigeria today, you see an average boy claiming he's a Yahoo boy. You see an average boy into one crime or the other. And then you ask him, what are you going to do with the money you've gotten? And then the next thing he says is, we're going to the club to bang, to dance, to get some ladies. And then you ask him, is this the reason why you actually got into this? To just go to the club, drink, and then get ladies? And then he's never going to give you a substantial reason what he's even going to do with the wealth.
Yeah.
You see, apart from those who are, doing all this illegal business, let me put it like that. Even our politicians, our adults, when you see some of them who have stolen public funds, you see them using it on women, on ladies, even on people who earn money, from legal means.
Yeah, working 9 to 5
Yeah, you
jobs.
still see them wasting the money on women.
But you do know what you're saying actually makes sense. Yeah. But there are a lot of people that will actually go against you when you say that.
Of course, I know.
Because
feminist.
Yeah, exactly. The
lady that picked me up that day was a feminist, and there was no way I could have convinced her. But what I actually want you to understand is that no matter how you look at it, no matter how you argue, no matter the position of the law, no matter the jurisprudence, whether based on philosophy, literature, or law itself as it is, you will find out that most of the crimes that are committed by people can be traced down to women.
So you're saying women are the root of
hold on.
Is that what you're saying?
Do not misunderstand.
That's why I asked the question. Are you saying?
What I'm saying is, what will actually propel a man? What will actually propel people to do something? When you trace it, it's not because of the fact that they just want to get girls or something. It might be because of the love for your mother, for the love for your sister. But
you can't always say it's like I will disagree.
Yeah, of course, you're allowed to disagree.
On the fact, hold on. Based on the fact that I could be a guy who probably worked hard so much, and I'm attracted to a guy. I'm a guy who I'm hardworking and all that, and I want to spend money on guys that I'm attracted to. Are you gonna say a woman is the cause of that?
Does that mean you're saying you're gay?
No, that's what I'm trying to explain. I'm saying if I was a guy who was gay and I make my money and I spend it on other guys, how are you gonna blame that on women?
Well, what you just told me is a probability. It's a game of probability. It's not something there are
guys out there who are gay and they work hard and they spend the money on the guys they're in love with.
Okay, now what you must understand is, of all the theories in the world, none is perfect.
Yeah.
Everything is into 50-50. So if you think my theory about women being the architect of social disorder is wrong, so be it.
Okay, now, I want to ask one question. Are you... so I'm guessing the reason why you wrote that poem, was that because of a lady?
No. Yeah. So what was the inspiration behind that poem?
Okay, that particular poem in communal speech, LCD, when I was compiling this communal speech, I read so many books, fiction, non-fiction. I watched so many movies. And I started asking myself that what is the essence of all the disorderliness in the world? I don't want to sound so religious by taking you to scriptures or anything.
Okay.
But I found out that, more than 85% of whatever it is, it's the cause of disorderliness has always been traced
back to women.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm being honest.
There's
no reason for me. There's no reason for me to pick on women because I'm in love of women.
Yeah. But I honestly feel like we should have actually brought a feminist into the studio
today. If we had known that Enoch was going to go through this way. There's a lot of I'm getting a lot of texts right now, and they're going, well, what is he saying?
Yeah,
there are a lot of people that are going to go against this, disagree with you real quick. You get me?
I wouldn't mind because I'm an African man.
But we're also going to come back and talk about your other book, The Cries of the Ocean.
Yeah.
But before we go, Maxwell, we're going to go on a break now.
Yeah.
But before we go on a break, can you read that poem back? Once more for us, please. I like the poem, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You like the poem?
I like it.
The title of the poem is The LCD.
Yeah.
Like a bicycle crazy display.
Okay.
Infernal fashion, display of insanity.
Okay.
Nudeness, the order of the day. Women are the architects of social disorder.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to discuss that.
You're listening to the Afrobeat session with Maxwell on Dublin South Radio 93.9 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going down here on the Afrobeat session. We still have Enoch right here in the studio with us, and he is, giving us interesting gist about his book coming of speech. So, before we went on the break, you were reading a very nice part of the book where it has something to do about women.
Yes.
Do you want to go on with that, sir?
Before you go on with that, I want to say something. That poem is actually a good example of what they say, small but mighty.
Yeah.
It's only 5 lines, but it's powerful 5 lines. It can make or break.
I think it's done that already.
Okay. Well, we know it's kind of like put people at the tip of the toe going, our listeners out there are really going, okay, what's going on here? So do you want to continue with the next poem?
Yeah. The next poem I would like to read is titled Sonnet of Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
It's written in Pidgin. It was inspired, when I listened to Zombie by Fela Anikulapo Kuti.
Zombie?
Yeah, Zombie.
Okay.
And I read more about that particular album, and I found out that was when he suffered lots of public beatings, arrest, and several things. So it's a 14-line poem titled Sonnet of Nigeria.
Okay.
It goes thus. Quiet, O citizens. If una talk, remember say we get prisons. Make una sit down for una place, unless if una want grace. Now we dey rule this place. Make una accept this face. I beg you, Joe, make una go work hard. If not to want enjoy, this country for us no bad. I be Mr. President, then suppose no they strike. Even everything for this world don't hike. So why don't they make noise? If them see threats, then go gentle like small boys. You see, our law na supremo make nobody fear. We go make sure say for future our laws go dey fear.
I feel like you should have been born in the 60s. I honestly feel that way. I feel like you should be chilling with the likes of Wale Soyinka, Chima Achebe, and all that, man.
No, I shouldn't chill with Chima Achebe now. He's not around.
No, I mean back then. Okay. Back then, that's what I'm saying. No, because I can't remember the last book I read of it. It was a good book. There was Once a Country. I think that's the name of the book. It's a really good one. But speaking on that poem, so what inspired you with that, apart from the fact that you read the whole story behind Fela's track Zombie? Were you actually going through something similar to that at the time?
Yeah, in 2011, everything in the country then in Nigeria then was upside down, lots of strike, the tertiary institution. My school, for instance, Obafemi University then, where we had lots of internal strikes. It was very crazy. So I was wondering what's happening. Is this the reason why we are here in the country? Just to be born and then to suffer, to see all these things, you see. And I believe, as a matter of fact, as a writer, that writers must just not write something that is sweetening to the ears of their readers.
Okay.
They must write something that will provoke the people to think, to ask questions. They must make the people realize that some things are wrong and some things are right. And I think this poem, Sonnet of Nigeria, is actually calling on Nigerian citizens to make them understand the ways in which the government, the ways in which the leaders, the politicians in the country are actually ruling us. You see, they gather in a small corner and then they just discuss amidst themselves, how can we quench these people? How we go feed just about these people now? We'll just give them one kind of policy, make them they struggle for that kind of thing. This is how they actually come together to do some of these things. And that's why I wrote this poem, Sonnet of Nigeria, because I felt that me writing this in Pidgin will make the people understand what I was driving.
So is that like like a better reason why you actually, instead of writing it in English, you write it in Pidgin English, so as to get you to the people that don't understand English properly?
Yes. Because I also studied Fela very, very well. Okay. I found out that Fela decided not to sing in English, not because he couldn't sing in English, but because he wanted to communicate to the least common man on the street. And remember that the title of the book itself is Commoner Speech.
Commoner Speech, yeah.
That's deep right there.
We're still going to come back to because my phone is actually buzzing right now, to be honest. So we're still going to come back to the first poem you read about the women, because people have opinions and have questions as well to ask you.
I wouldn't mind.
But well, we're going to come back to that. If you want to continue with the one you're about to read now.
Okay.
So give us another one that's going to be like... That's gonna cost another go big.
No. Actually, this one, I like to read this one, to pay respect, to pay homage to my comrades that we went through the student union struggle together
Okay.
in Ife, and also to pay homage to the martyrs of student unionism movement across the country who have died, some who are no longer, able to actually enjoy themselves as able-bodied men any longer. So it's a respect. The poem is titled The Marksman and the Gun. I danced to the music of life. My cry at birth was that of joy. Tears of joy of liberation from a cubicle of muscles. I strolled down the stream awaiting my love. Grown and known, political views and reputation to me. I am now a man, an African man, so I am. Day by day they came to us. They imprisoned us. Our people became treacherous. Our ladies became handbags. Oh, my love. At first, only I could touch that body. That body now belongs to a man called Ajele, the minister of the alien who captured our men. He has the father, and I will take vengeance. And now, from this particular stanza, the names I will mention are actually names of student union activists who, had a lot of experience. I won't say pleasing experience of the student union. Kunle Ajayi, Sunday Adodo, Godday Olorunwa, Paul Alaje and other progressives. They are walking away with our union, and that is our woman. I love her and she loves me too. Student union must never be confined. That imperfection must be detached. Shall I compare our good worth to that of my fatherland? History will recount all, but Easter it. My woman's family beckons me to wrestle the struggle of fight and restoration. Saburi, wait! Shegun Guma, be patient. Liptino, do not lose optimism. Gandhi and Figo will yell for us. Africa, be patient. Revolution will come. He's on his way. Like it to rise from an immortal slumber. Tony Fash will back our struggle. Africano will seek out Che Guevara on war. The sweat of Barry and Soweto will not be in vain. Thank you.
That's I just wanna. I don't think I got one line. Claire, did you say? I can't remember a name. Anfino.
No.
Okay.
I said Gandhi and Figo.
Gandhi and Figo. Yeah.
They were names for
Toby.
Okay.
our comrades.
Okay.
Really?
No, I just thought I heard Fino. That's why I asked.
Okay.
No.
So I want to ask you, with all this, I mean, it's clear you have Africa written all over you. You get me? As an activist and everything. How did this actually start? Why the love for this kind of, as in writing and everything?
The way my father brought me up, he brought me up in such a very different way from others. Right from my young age, he would always call me, talk to me, even make me meet some of his friends and workers. My father really never talked to me as the way an adult would talk to a young person. He was always speaking to me in proverbs. He was always talking to me in deep words. He was always telling me things I couldn't even understand way back when I was a child.
Yeah.
And I started to write some of my feelings down. I started to write some of my views, whether religious, whether personal views. Then there was a day he came home and then he saw my small diary and then he asked me, what's this? I said, sir, they are just things I think of in my head. He said, you know what? Let's get you a new book. You write them down, we arrange it, and maybe later on, who knows, you might be a writer. That was what he told me then.
And that was how he started.
And he was always monitoring my works, He would call me like, have you written anything today? If I say no, he say, come here, serious man, leg bouncing. So, and that was how I started. But in 2005, I read some literary books. I read some things about Africa, and that was what changed my view. Then when I got my admission to Obafemi University, I met some senior comrades. The first person I met was Comrade Gandhi. He's a lawyer right now.
Okay.
He's in United States of America studying. And he was the first person who even introduced me to the idea of Pan-African socialism. It gave me the works of Kwame Nkrumah, Nyerere to read, and it was one who introduced me to politics. Later on, I met Godday. And Godday was more practical, because he was more of a practical field comrade. And these are people that actually changed my orientation.
Yeah.
And then I had a very good comrade, which I'm so proud to mention his name right now, Adeyemi Adetola Africano. We were very good guys together. We would ask ourselves, how do you think you can defend Africa in the future? How do you think you want to contribute to Africa? And that was how it all started, And And I'm so proud of who I am as an African person, because I understand that no matter how fitted the shirt looks on me, I can never be a white man. And no matter how I bleach my skin,
it's a fact you've agreed on already.
I can't.
He just took a shot on Michael Jackson there.
damn.
No matter how much you bleach your skin.
No. I didn't mention Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I was only pulling your legs, but I have to say this: you are definitely, adding a lot to Africa. You're educating the youths. This is something I feel like a lot of people are gonna cherish, and the young generations, hopefully, if they take this up.
Of course,
yeah,
they are, because it's not just me who is trying to push African ideals. Even people that are above my generation. Take for instance our own beautiful Nubia, Segun Akinlolu. His music is folkloric. His music is something that, if you want to know about the Yoruba culture, you listen to him. Not just beautiful Nubia. There are others like Orlando Julius. They go everywhere. They organize shows for university students to actually have an idea of what
Maxwell doesn't know who you're talking about.
Culture is about.
Who's Beautiful Nubia? Mention one song from Beautiful Nubia.
He said Orlando Julius.
Who's Beautiful Nubia?
I don't know who that is, but I know Orlando Julius. Why did you have to?
But you know Lagbaja, right? You know Lagbaja.
I know. Why did you? I don't Lagbaja. So why did you? I don't understand. Toby, why did you have to say that? I don't understand.
You see, what you must understand, and what I'm driving at, is that it's not necessary for him to even know all the person I'm mentioning. But what is important is that he must understand the message. Africa is for Africans only. And the present situation of events that has happened in recent days all around the world, we've seen videos, I don't want to mention, but we've seen videos of someone on the screen saying that the black lives in West Africa is not a priority for a particular country. We've seen that. So,
well, when you say Africa is for Africans
only, yes.
Only. I kind of disagree with that. So are you saying if I was a British white guy who loved Africa and I wanted to move down there, to leave there?
No, I don't want you to misconstrue what I'm saying based on the materialistic sense of Africa is for Africans only.
Yeah.
But the truth is, when it comes to you facing reality, you understand that Africa is for Africans. But when it comes to your beauty, your strength, your resources, then you will understand that Africa fits the world. The world will now say that, oh, this is African. Let us take from Africa.
Yeah.
But when it comes to other priorities, you understand that Africa is just for Africans.
And we need to be
Africa. And that's what Femi Kuti sang in his song, Africa for Africans. Let Africans realize that Africa is for them. Let us develop Africa. You see, and that's what I'm doing with my work as a writer, and that's what I'm doing.
So going through your books, is that the first book you published, yeah?
Communal Speech, yes, was published in 2011.
So do you have any upcoming projects coming up that you want to talk about?
On the 29th of July this year, I published Christ from the Ocean.
Okay.
And it's on Amazon. You can order it online, but I've not actually published or launched it in Nigeria. So I intend to do that next year.
Okay.
When I finish whatever program I'm running or stuff.
So you don't just have the book itself. There's a voice-over version of it as well?
Yeah, I have the audio version.
The audio version
of
it.
Commoners.
So that's for people like me, because we don't really like reading. We just like listening.
Of course, I understand that the present...
I like reading anyways. I hope I get a free copy, by the way.
I understand that the present African youths have lots of, way of grabbing knowledge, unlike our fathers who were just conservative with... Pick your pen, read your book with your lantern, come and then... So that's why I have the audio version of Commoners Speech. It has a lot of music. It has lots of work, It took me 2 years to actually complete the audio book of Commoners Speech because I tried my best to perfect it. And I'm so proud of the fact that I got two very good radio presenters to read the book along with myself. And then the person who produced for me, DX Snipe, I love him so much because he was dedicated. He was dedicated to the work. He encouraged me. There were times whereby I would come in like, Enoch, you have to leave wherever you are. Come down to Ibadan. Let us do this thing again. And it's a very good work. So I'll be releasing it next year too. But for you guys,
that's not out yet.
No, it's not out yet. I want to release it on iTunes. But for you guys, I'll sure give you guys.
You see, because I was only gonna read the copy, but when you said it has music in it, I'm interested.
Now you want it.
I'm still gonna read the hardback, but I still wanna listen to it also.
So real quick, let's go back to the first poem you read.
LCD.
Now, because I have text here.
I'm sure.
So someone texted and said they think you're sexist.
I saw that coming anyways. Yeah. And so honestly, like I said...
Do you have anything to say to that?
Well, basically, let me just say my mind. You see, ENOCH Ojotisa is an African.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, I'm a Yoruba man. And whatever I think is culturally right for me is what I will do, is what I will say, is what I will portray in my work.
So basically, what you're saying now is you're not sexist,
No.
but you were just putting out stuff the way it is.
To me, to my view.
So his
From
view
your
as a
view.
Yoruba man.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason why I chose the title for my book, Christ from
Yeah.
the Ocean, is because I was reading a book and I found out that lots of my African forefathers, were shipped down to Europe, to America, and lots of them actually perished,
Okay.
while traveling.
Traveling overseas,
A
yeah.
lot of them were dumped in the ocean. And I'm sure not all of them were dumped in the ocean were actually dead when they dumped them in the ocean. You see, the tears, the cries from across the ocean, shouting for help, crying for help with no help. And then the present crop of Africans who over the years have lived in these other foreign lands, yearning to come back home, but they cannot because even this home called Africa is a bit scared to accept them, whether they will fit into Africa as it is. So that's why I titled it Christ from the Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I the last one, I feel I can relate to that because I feel like if I was to go back to Nigeria and get a radio job, I would probably get fired on my first day of work.
Why?
Why would
Because
you
I
say
disagree
that?
with a lot of people in the entertainment industry in Nigeria. For example, shout out to Freeze. I'm not a fan of him. I think a radio presenter who
I think we
literally
should
just
discuss that
glorifies
later.
himself on. You see, like I said, I'll probably get fired, but I can relate to that.
Toby, the thing is, one thing you need to know about Toby is he has a lot of problem with a lot of people.
I do.
So he
I
actually
disagree
does.
with a lot of things.
He disagree with a lot of things. So
I do.
With time you get used to him.
Yeah. So you have a poem for us, right?
Yes.
What's it titled?
I'd like to read this poem I wrote for Africa
Okay.
first. And maybe I'd like to end the show with the last one, which is titled I'm a Feminist. That one is also another poem, that
Oh yeah, you
I
were
wrote
definitely
just
gonna
to
close the show with that
actually
one.
make fun of
So-
some principles.
So the title of the poem is I'm a Feminist.
Yeah, the last one he's gonna
the
read.
one I'm going
last
to
one
talk
you're gonna
about
read,
later.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the one I want to read now is called Butchered in 1885.
Okay.
It was written on the 25th of May 2014, and that was the day I realized that Africa will always remain the victim of circumstance and conflict.
Wow.
Except
Okay.
Africa decides to make Africa for Africans. If not, Africa and Africans will continue to suffer under certain circumstances, and you see, some people will still come out to say that Black lives don't matter until we find a solution of bringing ourselves as one. You see, there was this African leader that I don't want to mention his name based on political reasons. They had dreams for African countries to come together and be one.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the West took him out. They took him out. Yeah. Not just him.
That's a story for another day.
Several African leaders have decided, starting
Yeah.
by our own Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana, thought about African unity. You see, but unfortunately, what do we have? You see,
We're left with Jonathan.
no, not Jonathan. I don't
Toby,
right now, on the issue of Biafra and Nigeria going on, see, there's something I like to say. And I believe that no matter the political desire of a group of persons, I think what we should look at first as Africans is what will be beneficial to the coming generation, to the children, whether they will be able to survive under certain conditions or not. Judging and reading from history of what happened in the previous civil war. Personally, I wouldn't want to go through any situation of war because I can't imagine myself not being able to eat good food.
You wouldn't
have
actually
nice
be able to
water.
work with your manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't matter, man.
Nah, I don't think you'd be able to work with your
I don't
manager.
think you
if
should,
we're gonna
Even
go
my
through-
business strategist for Akewi Art House is Igbo. His name is Steve. But as a matter of fact, I believe in one Africa, not a group of African youths coming. I believe just one Africa. So I don't really care whether you are from Kenya, whether you are from the north or the east of Nigeria. I just believe, man, we are blacks. Let's work for the unity of black. Let's work for the success of black, like Marcus Garvey did in America. So right now I'll be reading the poem titled Butchered in 1885.
Let's go.
Africa was raped. She's been maimed. Africa was robbed. Our effort to resurrect failed. Africa was shared. a potency castrated. Africa was sold, bought by imperialism, and it's evil old. Ha! I am Africa. That's the end of the poem. It's short and direct.
It goes straight to the heart.
Yep. Because
is that what you were aiming for?
Yeah. Because it was when I read the Berlin Conference. I read the Berlin Conference that occurred in 1885 of imperialist countries coming together, discussing which part of Africa to own. They felt Africa and Africans living in Africa were just a piece of commodity that anybody could buy or share. But we are humans too.
Is there a movie that there's a scene of that? I think there's a scene in a movie that has that conference. I can't remember what movie it was, but I actually remember watching something that had to do with something like that.
It actually happened.
It happened.
The Berlin Conference happened in 1885.
The Berlin Conference actually happened.
And that is why I'm not happy with the fact that, you see, some African countries still pay colonization, is it fee now, or colonization something to a particular imperialist country for colonizing them. It's so shitty. So shitty, says the truth.
Do you have? I think you have one more.
We're gonna close the show with that one.
We're gonna close the show with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that one is probably gonna ease up on things. Hopefully it does. Hopefully.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on the Afrobeat session, we've got Enoch, and he's gonna be doing something by Orlando Julius Ololufemi, which means my lover. So take us away.
Ololufemi gbogbo ayé yìí.